So we have been able to do create the style guides for what we'll be doing, and we have our grids also set up. So it's time for us to design. So let's get back into the design. And I know some persons will be asking, are we going to do this whole stripe animation thing going over? Obviously we can't do it, but we'll figure out a way to have something in that line in the design, or just fixed, because that was done by some other designers. I would suggest, I would predict the 3D designers. So it's not your duty to actually do that, but you can give the directions for the visuals. So let's get back into track. So we have our grids set up. Let's move this upward so we focus on it duly. We'll come back to the top sessions later on, but for now let's focus on working on the stripe. All right, so next thing I'm going to do is to type the stripe um, info and navigation text. So I'm going to type info. All right, we have info here. All right, this is 16. I'm going to change that to 14 here, and then I'm going to create a style guide, and I'll type that as nav text. Cool. So we have that, and it's on bold. All right, and then we can duplicate it for the other one, which is talks, and then the next one, which is speakers, and then the last one, which is sponsors. Okay, select all of it and put them in auto layout. All right, we have that fixed, and we can now move it into this. So it's there, and this design, let's design the top so we can get rid of this part. So I'm going to bring in these icons. I'll be working with just this session, so I'll bring in with the iconify icon. So let's type in iconify, run that, and in this design we'll be working on the hero session, and then we would go into other sections of the landing page in the next lesson. But let's design the top session for this design. You can always grab this from the community, but if you want to design it, you can just search for it. So I'm going to search arrow. Right, I have the arrow here. Bring that in to our design. Right, and we have it. We can duplicate it. Press shift plus H to flip it horizontally, and we have that. We're going to press reload or refresh. Let's try refresh first. Yeah, so we have that as well, and we're going to type lock, and we have this. Let's find one that is the same. You know what, let's use this. Right, and then we will type stripe. I'm sure I would find the logo here. So we have this stripe for stripe sections, so we'll bring that in actually into our design. I like to use this for that part. All right, reduce the size of this, and then we'll also grab this X. Yep, we have that. So we have 1 2 3 4 5, and that's actually all we need. Don't need any other thing. Maybe this ones. Okay, let's do this ones as well. Type drop down. Right, or just type down. I'll grab this. Right, bring that back into the design. Right, so we have this one. You can type minus, grab this one, type copy, other one is copy. We'll grab which one. Let's let's pick this one. It's very similar to it, so grab this one. It's too much, make that 24 or thereabouts, and then X. Let's see if we find the X we need. That would be times, yeah, so grab this one, right, and that will be it. We won't be doing any other extra, so close that out, and that is what we need. So I'm going to hide the grid for now, and so let's design this. Let's design this. So bring this. I'm going to create a frame for everything. So from here, create a frame going from that point till the end. So we can drag that till the end. Zoom in so it laps with this other one, so it will go 2 steps. It's now there. Give it a stroke, which I've done, and then with that, I'm actually going to give this a different background, yeah, something like this, so that I always see where it is for now. And the color for this might be the stripe subtext color. Let's see if that works. Yeah, it works. So put that on auto layout, bring that downwards, and it fits. All right, take this one still on 24px, put it inside, and doesn't quite sit. Let's move it out. Select this and this, put them on auto layout, reduce their size, and then make that text white. Also, you can grab this other one now, and it will be smaller, so you can hold shift on one end, bring it downwards, give it the stripe subtext color, and let's see, that doesn't work. We can pick the actual color, select this, move it in, so that works. And then we can have a text, say stripe.com/sections, right? So we're recreating everything from scratch. All right, and I'll break this and make this 12, give it regular size, bring that downwards, and let's increase it a bit to 13. Let's leave it at 13. All right, we have this and this. Okay, hide that, put that, hide that, play that, hide that, play that. Okay, so I wanted to see the other part, so select this and give it the sub color, select this one and give it white color. Right, so we have that part sorted. We can now select this one and type in sections 2023, and that's stroke, and then stripe sections. So I purposely type that in full. I'll show you what I'll do with it. I'll grab this X, bring it closer to what we're working on. Alright, so we have this X. It's obviously going to become smaller, and it's going to be here. Make that white. Alright, and then grab the stripe, bring it here closer, and I'm going to draw a frame in here, square frame. Right, reduce the top, and then give it a stripe primary color, which doesn't kind of seem like the right one, but let's leave that for now. Reduce this, change that to white, select this, round those corners to 3. So we have that 3, and then we can now bring this text make that first one bigger. Right, reduce it to 12. 12 is still small, so make it 11. 11 is fine. And then with that, I'm going to give this a gradient. So I'll break this, give it a linear gradient. Alright, take the other part that is in the linear gradient, take it towards the end, push it in a bit so it looks like it's fading off from that point, and then we can move this upward to be center aligned with this one. Right, so that is what we want, and that is that. Right, next thing is to have the frame for this guy. So this frame, I'm going to put that frame, just draw the frame from here to somewhere around here. Alright, by doing that, we can now extend it to the end. Right, completely round that, and we're going to give it a color, one of its colors, but it's going to have a gradient. So I'm going to move this aside, select this color at the top, bring it downwards, and pick the one down parts. Still quite the same color. Let's see, something doesn't add up. Okay, so that's fine. That's fine. Right, so we have that part sorted. The next part is the top. Yeah, so we're going to draw a shape this way, right? And let's see. Okay, so we have this shape here, and by doing this we can round those corners of the shape. Right, I'll just drag it downwards, duplicate it, move it somewhere around here, bring it in, send it back up somewhere here, and then we can draw that. I think it gets to the end. Yeah, to the end. Draw that till it gets to the end. Select both of these, unify them, and then we can edit by rounding this. Let's try to round these corners. Okay, rounded it a bit, right? And you know what, let's duplicate this out so you can see. Nah, that's not what I want to do. Select the body, move it out, and then bring it this way, bring it downwards so we can see what we're doing. So this way we can now see what we're working on. Select this and reduce it this way, somewhere around here. Cool. This way we don't need this anymore. I'm going to give this a fill color. I'm going to choose the fill color. It's going to be this dark shade, right? And yeah, so select this and round that again. Yeah, cool. This is it. So I'm going to pick this, duplicate it, and then I'm going to work with this one. So select the top, go to the color palette, go to channels, linear rather, select the down part, come back here with the eyedropper tool, pick the down part. Alright, that's what we're aiming at, and close this out. we now have something we want to work with. Select this, select the one downwards, and kind of enlarge, no, not this one. So select this, select the down one, select this other one, enlarge it a bit, just a bit, just a bit that way, and one step this way, and that's it. Now we're going to select the union, give it a gradient, linear gradient. The top, we're going to pick something close to this, then the down part, we're going to pick something close to this. Right, so we have that now. We're rocking solid. Right, so I have that in the design, and let's move this upward and see what we have. Okay, so final lap is, I'll just reduce this slightly a bit, select this, bring it downwards, and with that we can have that line that we see, this line, and we are going to use a shape to do that. So I'll draw a shape this way, right, touching this part. I'll give it the dark shade. Okay, go into effects, go to inner shadow, and we can now see what we can get out there. Now what, let's leave this part, send this upward. Have this and this, put it on auto layout. Right, it's on 9, I'll make that 10. Select it and place it vertically aligned. So this is it. This is it. Yes, this is it. And then this other part that we wanted to do, so I'm going to draw a shape. Just draw this, then bring it in here to the top, right, and by bringing this to the top this way, you can now select that dark shade and then move our items inside. Select all of them and give them the lighter shade of stripes color. Duplicate it, delete this, bring in the minimize, by bringing the other one, then bring in the cancel. Select all of them, put them in auto layout, constrain to the end, then we can extend it by 2. Select this, lock it to the end. Sorry. Right. We can now move this upward, and we have that. So we have that done, and you can see that's what we've been working on in this particular video. So you can also learn to create that by yourself whenever you have the time to. So I'm going to reduce this other one, it's 20, I'll make that 14. I'll make this one, make that smaller, so, and I'll retain the other ones. Alright, so let's get rid of that. We don't need it anymore. And from our design so far, this is what we have. So I'm going to give the background label color, which is gray. And then I'll get rid of this stuff. So we have stripe, we have stripe now. So I'll just grab this text and type in sections, which will be beside it. Put it at 16, give it the dark text color, select both of them, put them in auto layout, and change that color to the other color. Yeah, so we have this and we can work with this. Right, get rid of this other one, I don't need it anymore. Center vertically. This would not be this color, so I would make that white, and then we can select the image and hide to see what we've done so far. So this is what we've done so far, and I'll see you very soon in the next lesson.